Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Gina. Before you come in, make sure you hit thumbs up, subscribe, and share. So today I am unboxing some things from Sheena Sales and Thrifty Treasures. Sheena is such an awesome person. She opens up the world of gemstones and rocks and minerals to everyone at great prices. So I'm in her chat all the time, and I purchased some really neat things. This is a small one, but it's a good one. So we'll give it just a few minutes for everyone to come in. I hope everyone is having a lovely day today. Nice and sunny outside. I tried to go live today and do a video, and I had to take it down because it was just totally pixelated. So I think it's the phone. So I see a new phone in my future for sure. But it would have been a really good one if it had have turned out. So I think it has a lot to do with my phone. So I will probably be getting another one real soon. Most phones, it's a 2-year thing basically. And then you might as well get another one because they don't work right. So there's that. But anyway, this is a very small box, but it has a lot of goodies in it. So I wanted to come live so that I could share this with each and every one of you out there. So we'll give it just a few more minutes. It's hot up here too. So the ventilation's a little different. So I have a fan on and hopefully that works. Hey, Clint, welcome in. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Angie. That's one thing about summer is that you live in an older house and the ceilings just, and it does get hot and everything. So it's a little warm in here. Hey, Gigi, welcome in, sweetheart. Good to see you guys. Of course, anytime you get a box from Sheena, it's going to be fantastic. But I hated to report, had to take that video down. Hey, Laura. Laura's listening while working. But I had done this video and had all these beautiful flowers in it. It was so pixelated, it wasn't even funny. So why put up a video if it looks like that? So I'm probably going to get a new phone because it kind of made me mad, really, when that happened. It's just, most phones only last a couple years anyway, and then you got to get another one. That's how they fix you, that's how they get you. So we're going to go ahead and open this little box, but because it's little doesn't mean it's not good. So we'll open this box. I hope everyone's having a fabulous day out there. And we'll get started here. I think most of the weight of this is from a crystal amethyst stone that I got. I'm kind of partial to amethyst because it's my birthstone. So the first thing we're going to open is this, and I can tell you right now, it's that amethyst cluster, I'm pretty sure. This will probably be front and center in something pretty special. And as you can hear, it's heavy and wrapped very well. I'm going to watch out which end of this I'm opening. But I also have something else I want to share with you here after I get finished with this. I just can't believe the links that thieves will go to, but I'll explain everything to you. I got it in the mail the other day, and I'm like, I don't think so. But I'll explain all this later. So we have this beautiful, gorgeous slice of amethyst. It's very, look at that. You even have different colors in there. Right there. But the real feast for the eyes is that right there. We'll move it in. Very heavy. That'll probably be front and center and something special, I'm sure. But down there in the matrix right there, it even has some color. And here's the bottom of it. How many times do people get a chance to own something like this? But isn't that beautiful amethyst in there? There's that one. Like I said, this is one of my smallest ones, but probably you'll understand after I show it to you. So if this is what I think it is, and it is, so I didn't get a whole lot, but put that over there for the fan blows it on the screen here. This, can you guys take a guess what this is? What's that look like? Hint, it's in the gemstone family, of course. Let me move it in even closer without making it blurry. And when I seen her unboxing this, and I just waited till she put it up. This is garnet. All of this is garnet. All of it. How often do you get an opportunity to buy something like that? And it wasn't really that expensive. Of course, I did have to bid on it. That is garnet. Isn't that beautiful? One of those over the head style right here. But that is gorgeous. I knew I wanted that. It feels so cold and it feels good up here because it's hot. But yes, that is garnet. You could, since it goes over your head, you can put different things with it. But yeah, that's garnet and a lot of it. Kind of reminds me, kind of a grape color, kind of. But yeah, that's all garnet stones right there. Yeah, isn't it beautiful? I could just imagine putting maybe some pink with that. And like some kind of a silver accent chain with it. It's really pretty. But when I seen her unbox that, I knew what I was going after, and I was just waiting in the wings. So this is 12, 13, 14. So it's 28 inches long. Very beautiful. This probably be one of the shortest boxes you've ever seen. And I got this one here. This is a stretch bracelet, has humongous carnelian on it. Isn't that beautiful? Huge carnelian. I don't know, I've been on a carnelian kick lately. That's a stone I couldn't remember the last time, but I only got a couple items. But this is really made well. It has like a nice stretch on it. And, the stones are big. It's hard to get quality polished stones like that. I know Sheena last week worked 7 days a week. And, her health, she kind of has a special diet to help her with her medical conditions. She did have a heart attack, and she's got different things wrong with her, but she never lets it get her down. She just keeps going, and I don't see how she does it. She must have the strength. She must be the strongest person that I have ever met. Hey, Cheryl, welcome in. I'll show you, Cheryl, what I just showed you guys. This is garnet. This entire thing is garnet. And if I think most of the people in the chat subscribe to Sheena, but if you're not, probably a good idea to go over and click that subscribe button. It's Sheena's Thrifty Treasures. And there's that carnelian. Big polished stones of carnelian. Normally you see a lot of the carnelian chips, but this is not. This is the actual polished beads right there. Beautiful, beautiful. And this stone right here It has a little bit of stuff down in the matrix there of the stone. Then you have this beautiful amethyst. Look at the glare off of that, and it's got some weight to it. Very heavy. There's the bottom of it. That'll go center stage somewhere special, I'm sure. I haven't quite figured out where, but it will go center stage. But that was the only items I had. But the most important reason, okay, I get this letter from, I'm not going to totally read the title of the name because of liability reasons. But I went out to the mailbox and I got this. It's something to do with small business. So I opened this up. Now this is a beware people kind of moment. Okay, look at the amount that I supposedly borrowed, and that is a lie. Thank goodness for attorneys. So, one other time, somebody took out a Capital One card, and I didn't know about it. So the lady from Capital One calls me and says, "Did you take out a card?" I said, "Well, no, I didn't." And I talked to probably 5 or 6 different people, and somebody from used this in the state of Kentucky, and it was done at a Walgreens. Well, I got tired of the runaround. I said, "Look here." I said, "I did not apply for that card." They did send one. It was never activated. I just tossed it off somewhere, safe. I didn't throw it away. So they told me that it was used in a Walgreens in Kentucky and it was $500. Naturally, I'm about ready to say, wait a minute. So I talked to one representative after the other. I do think it was an inside job because they do have, hey, Sheena, welcome in. I showed all the pretties. Yeehaw, the garnet, the carnelian, and this stone that will take center place somewhere. I haven't figured it out yet. It's heavy. Yep. There's our Sheena. If you haven't subscribed to her, I suggest you do it. She has a very easygoing chat. She don't put up with mean people. She gets rid of them immediately. She don't play. Trust me. Sheena is a lover of people, but hey, Shell Bell, but she does know when someone's being ornery, and she will get rid of them. Like boom, her or Shell Bell or one of the other ones. But these are the beauties. This is kind of small compared to what I normally get. But this, of course, this was the garnet. I'm going to pair that with some pink. And then your carnelian and the stone. But anyway, what I was talking about, those people, I even called in the Clark County Police and had them run that name, and they could not find that person because I wanted to know who done that because I know it wasn't me. I didn't take out no card. So then I even called the town where the card was used, and I said, I explained to the officer, and he said, "Ma'am, we're a small town. We don't even have a Walgreens." So I know that was an inside job, so I know, Sheena, it's terrible. So my husband has attorneys through Ford Motor Company, and they're really good ones. So I turned her loose on them. Because that would have affected my credit. They knew it wasn't me. They knew that. They wanted to mess me over. Well, I don't lay down for no bull like that. I know I didn't do it. A lot of times people do not do their jobs, and you have to become the detective and everything like that. And he said, check the number on your letter against what they have online. Boom, guess what? Totally 2 different numbers, just like this here. But you know what? Here's another thing. It's got the loan number. The due date on this was 9/01 of 22. Now, why in the world? Because if you take out a loan, 2 years ago wrote it for 300 and they erased it and wrote it for, oh my God, Shell, that's so terrible. They ought to take those people and put them in jail and throw the key away because, there's people out there that work hard. And for somebody to come in like that, but so if you take out a loan for over $20,000, wouldn't the company that this supposedly come from sent you a payment book and be billed by now? You know what? It's ridiculous. $20,833. Hey, Victoria. And I thought, well, I'm coming on here and I'm going to make this aware. It's something from the small business. And I get this in the mail and my hair about stood up on end when I seen it. But, you would think that for a dollar amount like this, a person would have to go in person to this place, submit their life story, everything, because they want it all. And I knew there was something going on, so I'm going to hang on to this. And if I get one more thing, there's going to be heads rolling. And I don't play that. But, they're awful late. The due date was 9/01/22, and I just got this the other day. And I'm like, you have people, and see anybody, like, here's another thing. Nothing online is, can't even say it. Nothing online is safe. Everything can be breached. As an example, I'll tell you what happened. Norton Healthcare was breached, and everybody's Social Security, date of birth, and everything. So they went ahead, and we all have protection against people doing that. But this, why in the world would someone send you something that was due 09/01/22? Why would I get this now? And I didn't do it. But, and there's also a website on it. Never, ever, ever go to a suggested website on something like that because they're probably waiting and they probably got people working to steal your information. But this is a load of baloney. And if I get something else, they're going to be staring down the barrel of an attorney and it won't cost me a penny. Really, they probably thought, I'll send this to this person and probably maybe they're older and, the older generation does not like to owe people money. It's a fact. Trying to think anyone who will panic. Right. And they want an older person that gets all tore up because they prey on the elderly. Just like Amazon, they'll call you and you owe their favorite number is $999. Amazon will never call you ever. So that's dangerous too. But this right here, trust me, I'm going to be watching it. If I get something else, they're going to be staring down the barrel of an attorney, and Ford Motor Company attorneys are the best there are. But anybody can take paperwork and make it look legitimate. And that's what happened here. And they put down their stupid email. And see, I went and I looked this number up. That's not even the number. So somebody was trying to get $20,000. They'll get something all right. It'll be on the end of my foot. But, here's another thing. These financial institutions that put this stuff online is opening up people for fraud. It is too easy to go online, fill out information, and get something set up. See, that's their fault. I would like to see a law passed where they would have to take that offline. If you wanted money, you'd have to go to a financial institution and submit your everything. Yeah. Sorry, working and just saw you say hello. Hi, Victoria. Yeah, we're sorry, Victoria. I might have missed you if I did. I apologize, but I'm all fired up. And if somebody sent you a loan thing for $20,000, you would be too. But anyway, love you, Victoria. When I get to John, I kind of miss people. But like I said, they want to keep playing with me. I'm going to send them something, all right. And it's not going to be what they think they're going to get. Naturally, they want you to go to something like that so they can still. Oh, yeah, Ford Motor Company has free attorneys. They have them in every state, just like this case with that other person. They referred it to someone else. I do think it was an inside job because that card was never activated. It was an inside job, and yeah, those Ford attorneys, they'll hand you your rear end. They have the best. So I'm sure when that place got that Capital One, got that phone call, they probably dropped the phone when they found out who it was because they don't play. But all I'm saying, no one's information is safe. There's people out there that has, yeah, General Motors as well. All they have to do is get on the online and try to breach things and get people's information, run out there. And a lot of times where people, use a debit card, I think this should be law. If you're at an establishment and you use a debit card, you should have to present your ID, period. And if they don't do it, then they're reliable for that loss because that's how a lot of people put CID on their card so that it keeps people honest. But, the system works. There's all kinds of holes in the system, and everybody's always looking for a loophole. But yeah, nobody's information's safe. Years ago, they used to get a hold of babies' social security numbers and pull that mess and get away with it. And who's going to know? I mean, that's an infant. They used to do that. It's just crazy. But I'm going to hang on to this. And daggone it, is done online. The paperwork and escrow part. Anyway, it's scary when you are talking about a lot of money that could be sent to. Yeah, that's why I wanted to come on here to protect you guys. If something seems off, always investigate it. Never, I seen this and I know I didn't borrow no $20,000. So, this could be, even these hospitals, you have people staying up all night of the week looking for loopholes. Yeah. So just kind of be aware if you see an email that looks suspicious, like the UPS saying you won something, delete it immediately. Someone used Ron's health insurance. He never even been in the hospital. They tried to call. Oh no. That is terrible. Oh, that just burns me up. But I really wanted to put that out there. And, one day everything's good. The next day you wake up, you get something in the mail, and it's like, oh my God, what just happened to me? But I got this. Don't worry, y'all. One more time. And they'll be staring down the barrel of an attorney, I guarantee you, because I ain't playing that. You would think for a $20,000 loan, and they should make this law, that you should have to appear in person with all your paperwork, ID, birth certificate, all of it. Because people are getting the short end of the stick and they're having to pay for someone else's dishonesty, I know it. Yeah. My husband, he bought one of those loadable visas. Don't ever buy one of those because there are people waiting, like these game cards and everything. There are people waiting to see when that's activated, and they spend it so fast your head will spin, and that does happen. But my husband had a visa and loaded it. He thought, well, that's safer for like $250. Well, we went out to eat and it said declined. There was nothing there, and we knew better. And they won't help you. They will not help you at all. So never buy one because they're a big rip off. My husband lost $250, and money is money. And just like these debit cards, one time I ordered some leggings or something from California, and the first time they sent it to the wrong address, so they gave me my money back, and I bought another pair. And the next thing I know, the bank has shut my card down over $20, which is a good thing. And I was getting ready to buy something, and how embarrassing was that? But the bank was just right across the way. And I said, I want to know what's going on here. I know I'm not broke. They said, did you make this purchase from California? And I explained to him what happened. I said, yes, it was me. And that was over $20. So I'm like, it's a good thing they're vigilant about it. And I just went across the way and said, hey, what's going on? But they should inform you about that. They got lectured about that, not contacting me and telling me. There's some banks that are insured, and if somebody zaps your money, they have to put it back in there. But one time my daughter got hit by someone. We live in the north, but it was someone further north, and tried to use her card, and they called her over there, and they said, well, we know it's not you because you're standing here working. Made purchase. Yeah. And see, with Capital One, it was a red flag when someone called you and asked you if you opened up a Capital One. That's a red flag right there. And then I talked to 5 or 6 different people. I called, got the person's name. Of course, it was probably fictitious, and called the Clark County State Police and had them come up here and run that name. There was no such person. So it was a fictitious name. So they lied. I know it was an inside job. It's ridiculous. Sitting in the bank getting me a new card because my card was compromised while he gets a call from different banks saying it has been compromised. Now, see, isn't that crazy? That's another thing. Sometimes people, they're skimmers sometimes on these gas pumps. They put skimmers on the stuff at Walmart, and you have to know what to watch out for. That's why anytime I get gas, my husband says, look, pay cash. That way, but they do put skimmers on stuff, and you just never know. Oh, yeah. And my daughter, she's one time my brother-in-law, they hit him for $5,000 on a card that was supposed to be no good. And it was up north, and they just was spin. Of course, Centra had to put it back because they're insured. Boy, he had a fit up there. That's exactly why James and I do not put all our money in one account. Yeah, that's true. Because I have mine through Centra, and then, of course, his is through somewhere else. But be aware, people, because I'm telling you, there's crooks out. Well, y'all know that. And I just wanted to talk about this because, anybody can copy what looks to be legitimate. Anybody could do that. They wish. It says, do not send cash, make payable to, please return this portion of statement with your payment. They're going to get a payment, all right, but it's not going to be the payment they think they're going to get. So I tell you, anything can be reproduced these days. Anything. And see, you know who they're after? Those people that have excellent credit, because that's how they get in. They probably couldn't buy a piece of bubble gum, but they'll go on someone else that has good credit and destroy them. Yeah, you always get that FDIC insured because I know, Shell Bell. Why don't they just get a job? They ought to, when they catch these people, they ought to do like they did years ago on these chain gangs, chain them all together, make them get out there and pick up garbage alongside the road, make them contribute to society, not their evil deed. Yeah, I guess that's true. Some people don't want to work, but they just don't want to work. They're lazy. Their mind works, obviously, because they're all hacked into somebody. And I'm not smart enough. I wouldn't do it, and I'm not smart enough to do it. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But this really wound me up, and I couldn't. $20,000. Hey, nephew Troy, there's going to be a real throwdown. You can bet that, because I'm 20,000. They're crazy. Like I said, the due date was 9/01/22. I just got this the other day. Now something's fishy. Terribly fishy. So I couldn't believe this. I just kind of bunch of lying thieves. Yeah, 20 grand. It's not going to be 2 grand. What's going to happen to them? I don't care who done it. It's not my responsibility. And yeah, But this is the first piece of documentation that I have received about anything. So wouldn't you think that before this time that somebody would have done something? I have a foot. Yeah, give me some steel toes, because that would be more. Oh, isn't that awful? But I just wanted to come on here. Well, you guys are aware of scams, but this could be the newest one. So this is from the small business thing. And if you want, I'm not going to put the whole thing up here because of liability. You never know. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to reveal that. I'm just telling you. Send your mail to P.O. Box. My credit cards and bank goes to a locked box. Yeah. Yeah, now these days, checks are kind of obsolete because there's so many debit, but some people still use them, But it's just, you could imagine my shock. They must think I was born last night, but I wasn't. But you can bet this will be taken care of. There's just too many people out there that's being run over, and enough's enough. If anyone wants to just send me an email, and I'll let you know who it's from, the total title of it, because we don't want to say that here because you never know. Yeah, Sheena, she's got anxiety, and to see all those numbers, you're like, holy crap. But, like my attorney said, that yes, but Victoria, anybody can reproduce stuff like this. Anybody. If somebody can, they can make it look really legitimate. Yep. But that's crazy. But you would think if this was, the due date was 9/01/22, wouldn't I have gotten something before now? They don't make any sense. So anybody can copy anything from the internet, and they do it all the time. The number that was on this didn't match what I looked up. Somebody is really slick. But yeah, there's crooks out there that are very good at what they do. Well, you know what? Just like that attorney said with that Capital One, they have to prove that was you. And the company, instead of going like they said it was done in a Walgreens, and then I was asked, "Did you give someone permission to use your card?" I said, "Do I look like an idiot? Of course not." Okay, Shell Bell, thank you for coming in. Hangry for goodness, grouchy. Yeah, they get hungry. But that would fall for, yeah. And I think it is a scam. And just like the attorney said, you got to prove it was her. A bunch of lying. But I think it was an inside job. I think they probably have duplicates of that stuff in there, and they wanted to think I was stupid. Well, if you think education is expensive, just try stupidity. Yeah, that's true. So many things need to change, just like that simple someone use a debit or credit card. The store should ask them for their ID, and that should be a law. And if they don't and they get who shang, then it's their fault. If they come in and give a card and they cannot provide ID, you say, sorry, can't help you. It's just that simple. It's called protection. You have to protect your, you know, your assets, or somebody's going to come along and be a real rear end. Get a drink of water. And somebody tried to take out a home loan on my husband. And, and that's, well, a friend of mine up the road, they tried to get a house on her name too. It had everything on there. I know, Sheena, it's just, you're like, it's crazy. It wasn't maybe a year ago that Capital One deal came up. I said, credit cards are okay if you're traveling. I said, a lot of times people overspend and then they look up and say, oh, I owe that. There's nothing wrong with them if you use them responsibly. If you don't, that's where the problem comes in. It's a shame. And I thought about, not doing this or doing it, but I said, daggone it, people need to know about what else is out there. And if you get something like that, then you'll know that, like I said, these, because I know these loan companies ask for everything but the kitchen sink. I'm afraid to travel. What would happen if I was in another place? No one to call. That's true. See, I'm not paranoid. Oh, yeah, it does happen. It really does. And people have been known to steal the deed of your houses, and that is scary. Yeah. Whew. That is scary. And then you're innocent and you're having to prove your innocence. And it's bad. Exactly, a fake homeowner gets evicted. I know this one story where there was this empty house and this guy had a key made to it somehow, and he was renting that house out and it belonged to somebody else. And couldn't you imagine the owner's surprise when he goes in there and there's people in there? And yeah, like when you rent a place, the people that you rent from have more rights than the owner does. Hey, Joanne, welcome in. They really do. And, and when you rent to somebody, there is risk involved. You have to have them checked out. Because if they're behind on their rent and you go up and tell them, hey, and then they're wanting to tear something up. I had a renters one time that he was messing with the water meter or something. And she got behind on her rent. And I said, you can't let them do that. Because once they get behind further, then it's harder to pay it back. And I'm not a mean person, but hey, don't don't be no all day sucker. You know what I mean? Like the people that's renting right now, if they're going to be a few days off because of their money situation, they don't get paid, then I have no problem with that. Just he always calls and says, "Look, I'm going to be a few days late," and that's fine because things happen. That's true. You can't do business off of promises in a box, but yeah, I had to evict them because she got behind on the payment, and I had to do what I had to do. You can't let people continually be late, and then it adds up to this big amount, and they couldn't even pay the first amount, and then there you go. When you sign a lease, that's a promise to pay. You can't let them slide because they'll be making you look stupid sooner or later. But yeah, this is just one of the many. If anybody ever gets something like this, you're not alone. You may or you may not, but just saying. You see this, but this is just crazy. That's true. And a lot of times people get upset because they're evicted because of non-payment. Then they want to tear your stuff up. You go watch for that too. And he goes, "Well, there's a little metal building on the premises and it's got some of our stuff in it." He goes, "Well, that building's full of stuff." And I said, "And who does the property belong to?" I said, "I'll put a gorilla in there if I want to. Belongs to me. Why are you bringing that up for anyway?" He was defensive because he was caught. Anyway, you don't get horsey with me. I don't care if you're a man or not. But so I'll have to watch out in the mail to see if I get more bull like that. But it will be taken care of. When a number doesn't match, then that's a red flag. Even on that other one, I had to, if it was legitimate and these people really wanted their money, all they'd have to do is go to the Walgreens in question, get the camera footage, and I would have submitted my picture. But they didn't want to. They wanted some poor sap to pay the bill. And I wasn't going to do it because it wasn't me. Make a good video, gorilla in the shed. Yeah, after it gets hot and then let it out on that guy. I don't know, but I tell you, people are really slick. I can't think like that. I'm not the type of person to do something like that, but it's just crazy. Put the gorilla in the shed, make it good and mad, and then unlock the door and say bye. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Well, Victoria, it's better to be aware of things, and you don't want something to sneak up on you, do you? I would rather do something that is beneficial to people and what to watch out. Don't be scared, Victoria. You'll be okay, I promise. Look it up, Victoria Happens a lot. I watched a documentary on it. It's not to make anybody afraid. It's just to make you aware that, this stuff, if you see something like this, be informed. The worst thing you can be is uninformed and something sneaks up on you. But I thought, well, that's something that people need to be made aware of, Maybe I'm not the only one that got one of these. Who knows, It's about homes, deeds stolen. Oh, my goodness. It's the world we live in today. It's just getting worse and worse. There's no honesty. There's thieves. There's back in the day, a handshake was all you needed and you were good. But now they got their hand out and a knife behind their back ready to stab you. 10 years. Wow. Yeah, Angie probably seen all kinds of stuff. Man. But yeah, the it's a wild world out there. I would rather make somebody. Sometimes it's helpful to people that know what to watch out for. If something's going on, it's a good public service announcement in case it might happen to someone else. That's what this is all about. It's disgusting to steal an elderly. Oh yeah, it's when people get elderly. A lot of times they're targets, and another thing these people prey on before they do this. They know what your credit score is. They know everything about your credit score, and naturally they're going to use you because, like I said, they couldn't buy a piece of bubble gum to start with. Mortgage account every 30 days. That's a good idea, Laura. Check everything. It doesn't hurt to be on the safe side. But that's a lot of elderly people are preyed on because they use intimidation on them. And when they're afraid, they can't think right. And, and then they like people with good credit. And, that's the ones they get. They don't mess with these people that owe all this money. We regulated the bank, ensure they were doing what they were supposed to do as for loaning money fairly and embezzlement and fraud. Yeah. Sometimes there is some embezzlement and fraud inside banks. You just never know. It's scary out there. You're almost better off having your money under your bed in an old sock than some of these banks because they're not impenetrable. There's that word. Don't make me say it again because I probably couldn't. But yeah, it really does. It does go on a lot. But I thought by coming on here and showing this, it may help someone else. It may relieve someone else's mind to know that, hey, there's enough stress out there today to start with. But it may help. Someone else out there may have gotten something similar to this. Yeah. Sometimes you get people in high positions that think in these banks that think that they have the permission to take stuff that don't belong to them, And that happens too. You may not hear about it, but and another thing, a lot of these people get caught, they get smacked on the hand. The law is not the law anymore. They do a plea bargain, they get a lesser charge. Back in the day, before these plea bargains come along, people check on James' credit report because he had such a common name, James Smith. Yeah, that is pretty common. Back in the day, they didn't play. There's people that kill people every day, that abuse children, and they get away with it. And why? Because the court system screwed up. They do a plea bargain. Somebody's got the judge in their back pocket, and it's not fair. Like it says in the Bible, an eye for an eye. That doesn't mean that you poke someone's eye out, but you know where I'm coming from. Our judicial system is messed up. That's why these jails are full, and guess who's paying for that? Guess who's paying for their stay? And they don't care. They don't want to work. They get food, shelter, and everything like that. So why should they really care? And we're paying for all that, and they put people on death row and they sit there for years. And I'm not saying that I'm for the death of people, but that's what the law is. And then we're sitting and paying that when that person is probably cannot be out in society because of their tendency to harm other people. It's really sad that, and a lot of times the only justice a lot of people get, and this may be wrong, they take care of it themselves. They get in trouble, but the law does not protect the innocent people. There's always somebody with the judge in their back pocket. You got the money, you can buy them off. And they get away with it, and it's wrong. It is totally wrong. I think if, you do something wrong. Yes, I agree, Angie. I really do. And thank you for your comment. I think that if you do something wrong, you kill somebody, you hurt a child or worse, then you should get worse. Not, well, I'm going to plea bargain because I won't get the maximum. Well, they need the maximum penalty. They've taken someone away from a loved one they'll never see again. And it's really screwed up. The judicial system is messed up. When a killer there should be no plea bargains, none. And my father-in-law always spoke about that. They get up there with plea bargains, they know they're guilty. I could not be an attorney and represent a person that I knew killed another human being. And I know they get paid for representation, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand up there by a killer knowing he's guilty and defend him. I couldn't do it, especially if I knew he was guilty. I couldn't do it. So, I could not defend somebody like that. Because I have a conscience and I go to sleep at night and I want that conscience clear, and I don't want to go to where because I took up for someone that murdered someone else. That would be terrible. I couldn't do it. I would have to, or someone who abuses a child, or children and elderly people, there's not really much difference because they're both defenseless. And there's parents out there that shouldn't be parents. You know what? I look upon someone that puts that baby up for adoption, that gives that child a chance at life, than I do someone that would kill that baby or mistreat it in any way. Give it, if you can't take care of it in your life, you can't provide for it, put it up for adoption and let that child have a chance, because that's a human being right there, and it's a human being from conception. It's not an embryo, it is a person. That is God's honest truth. Like I said, I look upon someone more favorably for giving their child up because they love it enough to do that for that child. They're like, well, I can't provide for the child and I'm not in a good situation. And there's people out there that want children, and stuff like that. They have these baby boxes here, about 20 miles away, so that it'll keep these babies from being put in dumpsters or left on somebody's doorstep. It's a thing where they just put the baby on there and the box goes in, and then immediately someone is contacted and they go get the baby. This keeps, you don't know what that parent's on, if they'll put it in a dumpster or trash can, you don't know. This way, they put it in that little box and it just slides in. There's a blanket in there. The baby is totally safe and someone is immediately dispatched, which I think is a good idea, But I don't know if they have them anymore. They used to have those things that dispensed, what's that thing that reverses a drug overdose? What is it, Narcan? They used to have those around in these small cities where people could get a hold of them in the case of I guess it's Narcan. in case of a drug overdose, and they can administer it themselves and everything. They used to have those, but they know they're going to do it, and in order to save people's lives, they offer that, and stuff for them. And because I'm sure a lot of these paramedics have administered quite a bit of that Narcan. I'm pretty sure of it. We had a friend of ours to have baby put on their doorstep, a newborn. Oh my goodness. And they kept him. Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah, I had a client of mine. She had a niece that I think the baby was 6 months old, and she just visited her, left the baby on the couch, and left. And the lady raised him, just like he was her own and everything. And, you know, there's so much irresponsibility. There's ways to stop that from happening. They get in that position that they're expecting. They're not ready for that baby. They probably can't take care of them. And because of their activities, they shouldn't have them, and it's just crazy. People are not, they're not people are not responsible. Like these kids left in these hot cars. How can you forget that you have a toddler in a car and leave it there and it ends up passing away? It's just terrible, the things that kids are exposed to today, and it's not getting any better, guys. It's really not getting any better. There's so many things out there that they see. There's so much pressure on these teenagers to be like everybody else, and there's just a lot of pressure out there, more so than it was when we were that age. It's out there. You just have to instill those good things in those children and just pray that they follow your lead and not be influenced by somebody else. When I was growing up, my analogy was, if I had to do something wrong to be somebody's friend, I didn't need them and I walked away. I had enough common sense to walk away. Anybody can run with the crowd, but when you stand one-on-one with yourself and walk away, that's something right there. Hey, Tanya. Welcome in, sweetheart. We're talking about scams and people sending their bull crap, and I'm a multiple subject person. I think I was looking in the some of the comments on a kind of if I had something to do with like a talk show, and this one little guy had the most marvelous idea. And I think it's a good idea. And I'd have to have someone make me a thumbnail. Genuinely Gina. I think that's the perfect. It's short and to the point. And I think that's a good title. What do you guys think out there? Because I definitely got the gift for gab, and I got a whole lot of sense, But I think I'll have someone make me a thumbnail with that on there. And why not? If you have a talent and you don't use it, then God gives that to somebody else, But, why stick to one thing if you've got multiple talents? Why not use those in other? Yeah, I'll have to have someone make me a real neat thumbnail, and that Genuinely Gina, and that some young guy, I think he was a new subscriber, suggested that, and that shortens the title. I think that was pretty good, because you never know who's watching and who may come up with that next title. You never know. Yes, I'll have to do that, but isn't it something how one subject goes to another one, then another one, and another one, and another one, but what we was talking about, Tanya, I got this thing through the mail where I supposedly owe $20,833. I don't think so. And I know it's fake because when I looked the number up, it didn't match. But if I get something again, I'll just turn it over to the attorney and let them deal with it because it's a lie. Just a crazy, crazy lie. But I wanted to come on here and talk about that because you don't know. Someone else may have already received something like this, or they may get it in the future. We just don't know. And being aware is the best thing. It might not be good news, but it would be if it, you can identify with that person that may have be going through the same thing. But I won't have to keep that because, you know, but I'm going to have to share this video, Jennifer. Well, thank you, Angie. If this helps one person out there and they share this with other people, that's what it's about. YouTube, you can do many things on YouTube, and if you can get out that information for what to watch for, and when bull like this happens, I ain't done with them yet. You can bet that. So let them keep it up. And I'll just turn it over to the attorney and let them do their worst. They may never find who did this because people that pull stuff like that, just like the website, never, ever, ever, ever go to a website that's posted on garbage like this because that's what they're waiting for. $20,000. I mean, I like to live high, but not that high on the hog. You know what I'm talking about? Lord have mercy, I would never. Some person's gotten some information and trying to pull a quick one. You make me laugh here. I know, Angie, I have that serious mode and I have that one that the personality comes forward and I just can't help it. But no, it's, I genuinely care about people. I am a people person. I have always been that way. Hi, Pink Rose. Well, Pink Rose, kind of, sort of. But we was talking about this thing where I got a thing that I owe $20,000. I don't think so. But I know it's fraudulent because some of the stuff don't make sense on it. The number on the thing doesn't match. And that's what those attorneys are for. So, I mean, I know I like to spend money, but good God. But no, there may be a part 2 saga to this. If it keeps up, somebody's head will be rolling, and it ain't going to be this one, I guarantee you. File 13. Well, no, Pink Rose, I'm going to keep it because sometimes you have to be your own detective. Like a lot of times, on that Capital One deal, they said, well, it was spent at so-and-so. So I'm going to call the police station of where that took place. And I had to do my own detective work. I had to do it. That's what's wrong now. A lot of people in these doctors' office don't know squat. They know how to bill you, but that's about it. And you end up having to lead, guide, and direct these people. Good thing I'm healthy, or man, I'd be thank God that I am healthy. But, anymore, there's a big turnover, and they hire anybody that has a heartbeat or breathing, basically. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're doing. Somebody calls, and they're like, duh, And it's true, you have to do your own work. You have to pay them and do the work. And I don't think that's right, but that's how it is. But what time is it? 5:17. But I thought I'd just come on here. It was, of course, I wanted to show you the pretties. Look, Pink Rose, look at that amethyst and look at that matrix down in there. I'm going to put that in a special place. I know you have to be your own detective. You can't panic, don't panic, even though you feel like it at the moment. You just have to, and if Capital One really wanted to find out who that card belonged to, but see, that was a lie too. It never happened at no Walgreens because the place they said the Walgreens was, the guy said, ma'am, we're a very small town. We don't even have a Walgreens. So that was a lie right there. Thank you, Pink Rose. Yeah, it is pretty. I'm gonna have a special spot for that. Then of course we have the garnet. I'm gonna put that with some pink, so that'll pop. Then we have the carnelian, big old carnelian. But the more I thought about this, the more I thought, well, I need to make people aware of this stuff going on because it's only fair. You know, if you don't get the word out there, no one knows, and maybe there's someone out there that got something bull like this, and that just goes to prove one point: you don't have to go to the pasture to get the bull, right? Did you buy it or did? Oh, I bought it. Yes, I'm gonna pair that with some pink, and I bet that'll be really pretty. But anyway, that's why I wouldn't totally reveal what this place is, because even though I know it's fraudulent, you don't take any chances. That way your butt's in the clear. But no, something's up. Because on a payment this large, they would have sent receipts to where you send your payment. This is the first time I've ever saw this thing. Now, come on. They think this blonde was put in there by the beautician. It's not natural, just saying. No offense to those blonde people out there. You have to be comical about it and kind of laugh, because if you didn't, you'd probably really lose it. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this live. I hope that this may have helped someone, that someone may have learned something, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, is helping your fellow ladies and gentlemen. And I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for coming in. Don't forget the thumbs up, share this, and subscribe, because this might really help another person. I love you guys. See you next time. Thank you, Angie. I did too. Thank you so much.